If you want development, there will be mistake. If you don't want mistake, no development, right? So we will break some eggs during the process, but as long as we believe in the vision, and the vision is as capped, I'm very confident that this is going to happen. So we have announced a partnership with SCCC, Alibaba Cloud, and STC JV. Their company is focused on creating the cloud infrastructure for Saudi Arabia, and the announcement is about iDreamSky is going to bring iDreamSky games onto its cloud, and also in China, iDreamSky actually help a lot of cloud infrastructure to build a lot of gaming cloud tools that enable game developer to easily host the game and also monitor the game. So we're also going to work on that part because in the 2030 vision, gaming is one of the core strategy of this country. So more and more game companies going to come. Now, not only they need a good cloud, they also need a cloud that have the ecosystem, all the tools to host the game, right? And iDreamSky's game would be the test case, the first one, to showcase that SCCC's cloud is ready for gaming and ready for the biggest type of games. Because the game that we are hosting and we're demonstrating in this event is a 5 versus 5 competitive game, where you have AI players, you have real players, and you require extreme ping. Now, one of the things that a lot of players that came to our booth was, oh, you know, I love playing Overwatch, I love playing Apex, but the ping have always been 120, 130, and when they play our game, it's under 50 ping. It's under 50 milliseconds. And they're like, this is the first time ever as a Saudi player, I'm seeing a competitive game, a shooting game, that is under 50 ping. And that is day and night. If you understand what I mean, that's like 3 times the speed, right? So that is what we're announcing in Leap, the partnership with SCCC. And shortly, in the next maybe 60 days, we will be announcing more about the game. So, you know, on the first day, I went on the main stage and I talked about gaming evolution. Now, me personally, I've worked in the gaming industry for 26 years almost. And I've saw how China started from nothing, right? 20 years ago in China, it's exactly like today, or even worse than today. Because 20 years ago in China, you can't even get a computer, right? And technology isn't that easily available. There's no internet. How do you learn things? Think about that. Now, 20 years ago in China, the same thing, like we have lots of young players, a big population that loves to play games. In China, we have a long history and a culture, that this culture and this history and these stories haven't been represented in the gaming industry. Now, does that sound familiar?
Almost, yeah, exactly.
Right? Now, we went through the steps of, and in my keynote speaking, I actually went through the step of how a nation goes from a lot of young people likes to play game to how it transits into starting to publish games that have local culture to it, then to actually make games of their own for their own people. And then the final step, which will be the leap, is to actually use their own game and publish it globally and culturally export the culture of the Arabic culture. Now today, China, we're already exporting Chinese games outside the globe, like Asia Impact, I'm sure you have heard of, right? So I believe in the next decade or two, the same thing will happen in Saudi. The same thing will happen in the MENA region. The MENA region and the Islamic culture represents 2 billion people. That's 2 times of China. And it's a growing population. And Saudi have a national commitment, the 2030 vision, that is behind the gaming industry. I mean, I talked to a lot of game developers. game developer like my mentors that have worked in the industry for 30, 35 years. And I can assure you, never in the gaming industry, there was a country that is behind gaming. So I believe Saudi is going to be the heart, the epicenter of the gaming industry in the next 2 decades. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Well, I'm from China. And in China, we also have regulators, associations, departments that regulate the gaming industry, that help grow the gaming industry, but not in the scale of what the Saudis are doing. The Saudis are doing much more. I think, the way I have so far experienced the Saudi culture, I have spent 6 months already here. And from what I'm seeing a lot of good movement. I'm seeing a lot of good actions. And I've spoke to a lot of different parties, different leaders in different associations or government bodies. And I give them my advice. But one thing that I'm definitely sure about is every leader that I have met, and even his team, they are passionate about the gaming industry. And that's most important, first of all. If you're not even passionate about gaming, how do you really govern or create policies that is right for the gaming industry? As I explained to a lot of my friends, if you want development, there will be mistake. If you don't want mistake, no development, right? So we will break some eggs during the process, but as long as we believe in the vision, and the vision is as capped, I'm very confident that this is going to happen. And because I'm so confident, I'm actually already planning to make Riyadh my second home. I'm already starting to go Airbnb looking for places to stay. I'm renting a car. I'm trying to make friends. I'm likely going to, I found a place that I really like called Olaya. I think the yes, Olaya. I quite like that neighborhood, so I'm likely going to be around that neighborhood. So maybe if you see me around the neighborhood and you like games, grab me for a coffee. For me, last year I was exploring where I want to be at. Because the gaming industry right now is very saturated. The Chinese market is saturated. The Japanese, the Korean, the American, the European market is very saturated. So as an entrepreneur, as a serial entrepreneur, I was looking for a market where there's growth. And one of my friends was like, have you thought about Middle East? Have you thought about North Africa? I'm like, haven't thought about it. Maybe I should come. So actually last year, the whole year, I've been to the region for more than 10 times already. So Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain, you name it, been to the places. Now, North Africa, I haven't touched that part yet, but I've heard lots of great things about it, that part too. But when I came to Riyadh the first time last year, I think it was around June or July, I can feel development. I can feel it. I can smell it in the air. Just like 25 years ago when I went to Shenzhen, China, when our previous leader said, this is going to be a special zone. We're going to develop this city, right? And we're going to make it big, right? And in the past 30 years in Shenzhen, it went from a first village, it went from like dirt road into one of the most modern cities that housed Tencent, that housed Huawei, that housed my company. So it's all about that leadership. And I believe you guys are blessed with such a great leadership.